I'm going to print this dinosaur on this $100,000 3D printer, and also this $10,000 professional resin printer, this $2,500 prosumer printer. But before I show off what the most advanced printing techniques in the world can do, I'm going to 3D print on the cheapest 3D printer you can buy right now. Hi, my name's James, and the reason I can afford this video is because of Voxel Dance Tango. The Geeetech Altec is a 2K resin printer that costs under $100, and that would be the cheapest 3D printer, but I actually found something even cheaper. A 3D printing pen, which you can pick up secondhand for as little as $10, or buy new for around $35. And you definitely should, because they're a lot of fun. You just build the layers up, and it becomes 3D. See? 3D printer. As long as you can draw and 3D model, which I can't, as you can clearly see. For this whole video, I'm going to print this incredible model made by Clinch of a Utahraptor. I'm not affiliated with him in any way, I just love his stuff and thought I'd give him a platform to show it off. He's linked down below. So for $10, this is the level of dinosaur quality you can get. It's going to take some practice, but it gets bonus points because my kids love it. Pretty impressive, I am sure you'll agree. And for $10 we have set our baseline, and it is a very low bar indeed. So, it shouldn't be too hard to beat this. So let's circle back to our Geeetech and run off a print. Slap the files into your slicer, export it, pop it onto the printer. Now I'm not gonna lie, when Geeetech first reached out to me and offered to send me a $100 printer, I thought it was a scam, but it's not. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's the guts from an Elgu Mars 2, so you get a 6-inch 2K screen, a touchscreen on the front, a USB port on the back. The case is cheap plastic, the build plate is as basic as possible as there has been no expense spent on any components, but it works, and it prints some amazing models. I am well happy with this. All the main details are there, it looks like a dinosaur from the tabletop. I'm not sure you could tell the difference anyway. And let's be honest, for under $100, what more do you want? More than that? Alright then. So for $10, we can print this dinosaur. For $100, you can print this one. Okay, well, how about $500? And this is the Creality K1C. And this is an FDM printer. You get much better build quality. Automated print processes, a heated bed, glass and metal all over the place, self-leveling, and my favourite bit, a little camera so you can watch the print printing live. So in terms of a printer, what does $490 more get you? Now it is a little mean to print a mini on an FDM printer, it's not exactly what they're designed for, but I thought, hey, Creality have sent me this thing, so let's test it out and see where we land. Mwah. I'm going to disregard how awful removing supports were, because underneath is pretty good. If I wanted to chuck out some fast and dirty D&D models without exposing myself to lots of toxic liquids, this is a solid option. But there is no question, compared to even the $100 resin printer, this isn't even going to come close with all those layer lines. So now that's out of our system, let's print on something more familiar. An $800 resin printer. The Uniformation GK2. A heated vat resin printer that I talked about before. I'll link the video up there or somewhere. You get the idea. And for $800 you get crazy good build quality, a flippy up lid and lots of little lifestyle improvements like one-hand plate removal, a colossal build plate which is deep enough not to get covered in resin, has drip catchers around the edge. Oh, and of course a heater, which if you live somewhere with a winter is a godsend. And here we go. This is the Raptor off the Geeetech. We discarded the Creality, and this is the Uniformation. What about me? No. The Geeetech is good. There's texture on the legs and feathers, but looking close you can see there's some of the teeth are missing, and compared against the GK2 you can clearly see some of the detail is missing. The features just look a bit softer. But next to the GK2, the difference is stark. I actually ran off 2 prints on the GK2 because I didn't clean the first one very well, which just shows it doesn't matter how much you spend if you do the job badly. You can see the difference on this one though. But before we talk about that, or we see what a print from a $100,000 printer looks like, I want to talk about these supports. When I first started using Voxel Dance Tango as my main software, the support seemed absolutely mental to me, but honestly they work so well. I just selected 50mm miniature from their smart support feature and then hit auto support. Done. I am a big fan of this. As part of sponsoring this video though, Voxel Dance sent me an update to their 4.0 software, specifically for Gunpla, as well as a trial model to test it all on. Slap it into the slicer, run smart support, print. And if you want to try the slicer for yourself, you can grab a free trial by following the link and using the code on screen now. You can get a discount on the Pro version, which includes many features such as hollowing and Boolean. But best of all, no ads. And how good does this Gunpla look? Thanks Voxel Dance for sponsoring this video. Honestly, it really doesn't feel like 3D printing can get much better than this. Or if it does, I'm not sure I could tell. And that's because these Raptors were printed on a Haygears Reflex printing system. A system that costs just over $2,500. Not only do you get a prosumer 3D printer with all the bells and whistles, but you get the best curing station I have ever seen, as well as this mental wash station. I have no idea what a print off a $10,000 printer would look like, let alone one off a $100,000 kit, and we'll get there. But let me just say this kit is the closest thing I've ever used to professional grade equipment. But I'll save that for the full review, which is coming down the road, and trust me, that's going to be amazing. For now, let's forget about that and look at the prints. So let's stack those models up side by side. This is the GK2 printed at 30 nanometers, i.e. the best we possibly can, and this is the same grade print off the Haygears. I wasn't sure that was going to be possible. The GK2 had all the details in all the right places, but it is just better. This really feels like the pinnacle of where the hobbyist kit can reach. Even though the difference isn't massive, there is a difference. And I very scientifically tested this by using my kids, and I asked them which model they thought was better. And every single time they chose the 30 nanometer print off the Haygears. See? Science. That's it. As a hobbyist, this is as good as I can go, but I want to do better. And for that, I'm going to need to turn to professional help.
Hi, my name's Sam Gribbin. I'm the director of SGD 3D.
Okay, I made that bit up. Sam's mouth doesn't really move like that. So the models are here, and I'm excited. Let's see how good these printers really are. Sam's business supplies parts and equipment to various high-end precision industries like the space industry or the power industry. And so I'm sure he was absolutely thrilled to receive my little order of tiny dinosaurs. But despite that, he really helped me out by not only explaining this whole process, but also subbing the cost of the video a little bit for me. So thank you so much to Sam and his team. I really couldn't have done this without you. And boy did I need that support, because wow, is professional 3D printing expensive. Turns out, when you use professionals, you also have to pay professionals. And despite all the help from Voxel Dance and SGD, this is still one of the most expensive videos I've ever made. And that sort of dedication deserves a like and a sub, right? So this is a model of a $10,000 SLA printing system. This absolute beast is a Formlabs 3L. There's a printer, a wash station, and a curing station. But for $10,000, these models better be amazing. Unfortunately though, even though I can feel the models are absolutely incredible, they're printed in white, which makes the details really hard to see on camera. And so, I took an executive decision and decided to paint them grey. And while I agree it doesn't make the test completely fair, it's better to be able to see some of the detail than none of the detail, and I think you'll agree, this print is looking absolutely banging. But when you put them side by side with the cheaper printer, I just can't see a difference. I want to, but I just can't see a difference. Is it possible we've peaked? What about me? No, and got as good as we can possibly get? I don't know. What do you think? So I'm going to compare all the prints side by side at the end of the video. But before that, and not without a little bit of trepidation, I want to introduce you to the future SLS printing. Specifically on the Formlabs Fuse 1 Plus. $100,000 of 3D printing wizardry. Using SLS or selective laser sintering, they take powder and lasers and probably witchcraft to make incredible models that don't need any form of support, which is just mind-blowing. Seriously, this is kind of how I imagine Star Trek replicators to work in the future. And despite all this technical wizardry, The models of an SLS printer are actually cheaper than those of an SLA printer. Madness, right? So what's the model like? So you tell me. Personally, I think this is about the same grade as, say, the FDM printer from earlier on in the video. Some of the finer details just really haven't rendered out, particularly things like the teeth and the very fine feathers. Some stuff though definitely has, like the texture on the skin, which is quite surprising. So the tech's not quite there, but this is properly exciting for the future and I cannot wait to see what happens. One area where SLS printers really excel though is for printing large or flat pieces, and I can tell you this because I had the gun down from earlier printed in SLS too, and I can promise you that it looks absolutely incredible. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The lines are crisp and the parts fit together perfectly. This might be the path for SLS printing. So what can you take away from this video? Well, I think what I took away from this is hobby grade equipment is getting closer and closer and closer to professional grade equipment. And if you just want minis for the tabletop, you can print on something extremely cheap and get incredible results. For me, the best quality minis absolutely came off that Hay Gears, but that price point is pretty steep, so you may find the GK2, which is pretty perfect, to be the answer for you. And even though the very most expensive printers didn't give the best models in my opinion, I am very excited about the future of 3D printing. Huge thanks to my supporters, those over on my Discord, and of course my patrons. I don't know what I would do without you. You're a huge source of not only financial but also moral support too. Thanks so much, guys. And I guess like, click, subscribe, do all those wonderful things, and I'll see you next time.